Welcome, gamers, to a GAU exclusive interview with Firehose Games. I am Eric Rickety Beans Urbino, and I am joined today by Chris and Sean from Firehose, and they are here to talk about their newest game, Catlateral Damage. So how are you guys doing today?
Excellent. Thanks for having us.
I'm very pleased to have you here. Catlateral Damage is a very interesting game. Why don't you guys tell us about it so I don't screw up the description?
Well, Catlateral Damage is pretty simple. It's a first-person destructive cat simulator.
Very simple.
You play as a cat, you run around the house, and just knock all your owner's stuff onto the floor.
So you made this game in Unity. Now, how did that affect the development of the game when you knew this was going to be a cat simulator?
Well, it was actually really nice because the first version of the game was only made in about 7 days. So, Unity was really nice that you can just whip this up really quick and just get a proof of concept. And yeah, so far it's been pretty easy to just keep adding on to it and tweaking stuff, and easy to distribute it online and everything too. So.
Definitely, you can get that free alpha build of the version of the game on your website right now. I've definitely played around with it. It is really fun.
It's incredible.
I just, where does this idea come from? How do you go, I want a cat simulator game?
Well, I always grew up with cats. My family always had at least 2 cats in the house. And my cat growing up, Nippy, he's going to be 17 this year. And yeah, growing up, he was just, I'm hungry, jump up on the counter, knock things over. He'd come in and just, he was the king of the house. And of course, he never got in trouble because he's a cat. So I don't know, I think that was the big inspiration of that was I want to see what it's like to be him. And instead of being the human annoyed, see the cat actually doing these things and, having fun with it.
Yeah, living the life of a cat.
Yeah.
So you said it was made in 7 days. How many people worked on this game? How hard was that to make a game in 7 days?
There's just one person. That's me. Yeah, it was actually for the 7-day first-person shooter game jam. And the only prompt is just make a first-person game. So it's well, I like cats. Let's get this together. And yeah, like I said, Unity is pretty easy to use. So it was pretty easy for me to just Google some stuff. I didn't have too much trouble. Just kind of whip it up and ship it off.
It's the first time that story has ever happened in video games. Well, it seemed like it would be pretty hard, but it was much easier than I expected.
It was actually easy. So you made it in 7 days. How has it changed since then? What has changed, and how have you added more people to the team?
It's been pretty much the same. I think the big thing is for the original version, the paw was kind of always out there and attached to the camera. So in order to swat things off, you kind of had to move the camera around. And a lot of feedback I got was that it was making people motion sick.
Okay.
So I definitely added some more complex kind of swatting mechanisms and just kind of polishing up the art, adding more content. Expanding the levels and some other kind of stuff like that.
Expanding the rooms in the house that you go about. That's definitely interesting. Now, basically, I don't know, what is the gamer reaction to a game like Catlateral Damage?
I think a lot of people see it and they think, it's kind of a pretty simple game. It looks kind of cartoony. A lot of people relate it to Katamari Damacy. And then they play it and they're like, wow, this is actually not, a terrible game. It's super simple, but it's also really fun. And I think it's kind of you kind of have to play it to kind of see what it's all about. And I think once you play it, you just kind of want to tell people about it. There's this game where you're a cat. People are oh, okay, I'll play that.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm in, I'll be a cat. It definitely is something you really need to experience to actually fully comprehend. You go around and you earn points. How are people earning points and how are you calculating these points?
So the game only calculates things when objects hit the floor. And there's a few different game modes, but yeah, one of them, each object has a point value. And when it hits the floor, you get that many points. But if you hit a lot of objects off, in a short amount of time, it kind of counts them up like a combo, kind of like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And you can get massive points that way.
The best part was at PAX, I think, when Firehose, we had Catlateral Damage in the booth, and people would come, and then they would be like, I want to play this. I want to be like my asshole cat. That's probably ruining my house while I'm right here playing. And then sit there and they'd play for about 5 minutes. Maybe they'd restart. They'd play again. And they'd be like, I understand now. I get why my cat does this. It's great destroying my stuff. It is really fun. And I think there's something about that.
It is really. It's just fun to just be a cat.
Yeah, exactly. It's incredible.
It's incredible how that just worked that out that way, that it just fit in first-person shooter meets cat, and you have one of the greatest indie games of the century. So what is the future of Catlateral Damage? Where do we see it going from here?
We're still kind of polishing up some of the core mechanics and just making sure that the core like cat gameplay is pretty tight. And like from there, it's basically like infinitely expandable. Like you can add more houses, more rooms, themed houses, just all this kind of stuff. But yeah, just keeping that core gameplay of being a cat and seeing all these different places and all these different things you can destroy.
Definitely.
That's pretty awesome.
It is very fun. I'm excited to uncover more of the house as the game unfolds and smash more video game consoles off the wall. But thank you guys very much. You want to tell us about your game and where we can find it right now?
Yeah, you can find the game at www.catlateraldamage.com. You can play it online in your browser, or you can download Mac, Windows, and Linux standalone versions.
Yeah, if you want to stream it, feel free.
Yeah.
We're totally fine with that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you guys again very much for coming in to talk about Catlateral Damage. This is GAU Studios, and make sure you follow us on YouTube and on our website for more GAU exclusive interviews and more people like Firehose Games. Game on.
Hi, I'm Sean Baptiste from Firehose Games.
And I'm Chris Chung.
And this is GAU Studios.